Hi, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism. I just wanted to talk today about a subject that I haven't spoken about before, and that is the subject of how do you write a book about the paranormal. I got a message from someone a couple weeks ago who was interested, who was thinking about writing, but did kind of lack the confidence and information about kind of how to pull it off. So I just wanted to address that. Well, one, when we're talking about the paranormal, I'm defining it as pretty much anything that has to do with the supernatural, the occult, New Age type of stuff. So that's how I'm kind of defining it, and that is what I consider my book to be about. Now, what I'm about to say also applies to other nonfiction writing. If you are attempting something related to fiction, this may be a little bit different. That's a kind of a whole different animal. Development of characters and that sort of thing. So let's begin. Okay, so the first thing to think about when you're writing a book on the paranormal or nonfiction in general is, what exactly is your motivation? What is your why? Because if you don't have a strong why, then you're not going to have the focus or energy to complete the project. You know, nowadays with Amazon and chat books, small books, you have electronic books. There are different lengths, but I guess what I'm kind of talking about and gearing for is a kind of a full-length book, I guess, that we're accustomed to. You're going to need a strong why. You're going to motivate yourself to complete, let's say, a 180-page, 200-page book. We'll just say that. That takes persistence, it takes discipline, and it takes a good reason. Because if you don't have a good reason, you're just going to be miserable. And that's kind of the fact of the matter. The second thing is, can you write well? Now, I know all of us, or most of us, I don't want to assume anything, have been through high school, and some people have been through college. So y'all have the basic, I guess, understanding of grammar. If you don't, that's easy to fix. You can get someone to help you. You can be coached. You can take writing classes. The writing isn't an insurmountable thing. Even if you're comfortable not having a book written extremely well, if you're comfortable with that, you're in good company. There are plenty of them like that. There are tons of books being made. I set the bar a little higher for myself. So, but just to kind of share a story, when I started my book several years ago, I could write, and I could write fairly well, but I wasn't writing appropriately for my audience. I was writing academically because I have a bachelor's degree in philosophy and another degree in religious studies. So that is a different type of writing. It's kind of, in some ways, kind of technical, uses jargon. Then I went to grad school, and my writing changed a little bit there because it was becoming more academic, and I'm giving it to professors with PhDs, so my writing had to adapt or I would fail. So when I graduated from grad school and I started to write on this book, I still had the same ideas and the same sort of programming about how to write. Now, and that's fine if I wanted to write an academic book, but it wasn't serving my audience. I was writing about Reiki, and what I had to think about is, what is the spirit of Reiki? What is the spirit of energy work? And it is not a very kind of highfalutin academic, overly intellectual activity. It is very feeling oriented, it's sensing, so that was completely not where I wanted to go. So I had to actually learn how to write differently. And luckily, I have an editor who has a degree in creative writing who did some coaching with me. So that's how my book came to be. And I think that It reads pretty well, pretty easily. I've been getting some good comments on it on Facebook, so I'm actually kind of proud of that. So that's what I kind of have to say about that. What else? Yes, you have to be curious and passionate about your subject. Plato said that philosophy begins with wonder. And I think that has to do with writing too. If you just want to write a book to write a book for whatever reason, because you want everybody to look at you with increased respect or credibility, but you don't have a subject that you feel strongly about, that's going to be a problem. You want to have a strong motivation, a strong desire in the subject. That will also, just like the why, will keep you moving forward in a positive direction. Without that, I think you're going to not be happy with the result. That's just kind of my opinion. Next is, how do you plan to do your research? I see, and you could see the same thing. You go to any bookstore. Yes, we still have some with Barnes & Noble, Amazon, not Amazon, Books A Million. You go through those books, and you go through the paranormal section, and what do you see? For the most part, especially when it has to do with spirits, ghosts, that sort of thing, you find somebody just regurgitating the same information that's always been in other books. They'll take the old information and they will do some, you'll find this, and a lot of journalists do that who just want to write a book. We'll take information from other places and just repackage it, and same information that's out there, they just put it in a kind of a different format. That's one way of doing research, or collecting knowledge. You can go and look for information out there. And I think that is valuable. Again, I set the bar a little higher for myself. So you want to do that. Actually, what I do for myself is I have a three-level way of going about acquiring knowledge from my book. One is I do what we just said, do the research, what's in the literature, articles, that sort of thing. The second thing I do is I interview people who have actually done and practiced some of the things that I'm researching. So for example, if you're interested in vampires, go and interview people who claim to be sanguine vampires. What did they say? What are their experiences? If you're interested in that, go and kind of write that in a notebook. So that's number 2. And number 3, at least for myself, I want to have some type of personal experiences of my own to share. Please do not be an armchair occultist. There are plenty of them out there. They're a dime a dozen. People who sometimes write books, but they don't have any experiences of their own to share. And what exactly does this do? Well, what it does is that it doesn't really further the field. So you want to have your own experiences, something you can share with your readers, and as a result of that, they can learn something new. At least that's the way that I feel that it's probably the best way of kind of going about doing your book, because you want to kind of keep things flowing. Fields need to evolve, they need to grow, and if everyone, I don't say everyone, but if some people go ahead and they just take information, spin it around, and put it in their own book just because they want to have a book in their name, that's really not doing too much for the area of expertise that you're writing in. Okay, well, that's all of my thoughts on writing for today. I will probably do other videos, kind of get more into detail about how to actually write a book, but I wanted to actually get into ways of thinking before we get to that. Okay, well, thank you for listening, and please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.